In the heart of the old land of Nnaji, where rivers once sang and yams grew heavy with blessings, the skies grew silent. No one remembered when the last rain had fallen. The earth cracked, the trees withered, and every prayer rose like smoke, unanswered. The villagers said the gods were angry that the heavens had closed because of a woman's sin. That woman was Adanma, once beloved, now cursed and exiled. She had defied the priests when they demanded her newborn child as a sacrifice to the river deity. The first child belongs to the gods, they said. But Adanma refused, crying, "No god of truth demands the blood of the innocent." For her defiance, she was branded impure, a breaker of oaths, and banished beyond the hills. Her daughter, Nwakaego, grew up carrying that shame. In the village, no one spoke her name without a sneer. Yet within her burned the same quiet fire as her mother, the stubborn belief that the gods were not cruel, only misunderstood by men. Years passed, the drought deepened, and the high priest Odunmola, a man more powerful than the chiefs, grew desperate to retain his hold on the people. He proclaimed that unless a new child was offered, the rain would never return. Fear ruled, and the villagers obeyed. But one night, as Nwakaego fetched dust where the stream once flowed, she heard a whisper, soft as the wind before dawn. Water does not refuse its own. Find where truth was buried. She trembled, not knowing if the whisper was of spirit or madness. That whisper became her obsession. Nwakaego sought out her old grandmother, who had lived long enough to see 3 generations of lies. The old woman told her the truth in fragments, that Adanma's sin had never been against the gods, but against men who pretended to speak for them. The real story, she said, was buried in the grove where Adanma once made her final stand. Determined to uncover the past, Nwakaego journeyed into the Forbidden Grove, a place said to be haunted by spirits of the unburied. There, she discovered burnt clay idols, broken offerings, and beneath the soil, wrapped in tattered cloth, an anklet. Her own baby anklet. The truth struck like lightning. Her mother had hidden her there, saving her from the priest's sacrifice. The earth shook, the wind howled, and the voice returned. Truth is the first rain. When Nwakaego returned, she was accused of blasphemy. Odunmola declared her actions an insult to the gods and demanded she stand trial at the river, the same rite that condemned her mother. But when the priest dipped the sacrificial knife into the river, the water refused to rise. The people gasped. The gods had refused the sacrifice. That night, the shrine burned. Some said it was lightning. Others whispered that the ancestors themselves had come to claim vengeance. In the chaos, Nwakaego fled with Ifeanyi, a young diviner who had long suspected that the priest's power was rooted in deceit. Together, they uncovered Odunmola's secret that years ago, he had betrayed the covenant of rain, using human blood instead of sacred water to seal his pact. The curse was not divine. It was born of human greed. Word spread across Nnaji that the gods had been deceived. The old priests tightened their grip, spreading fear. But when Adanma reappeared alive, aged and fierce, the people's hearts began to turn. She confronted the council and declared that the land's suffering was the result of lies, not divine wrath. As thunder rolled in the distance for the first time in years, Odunmola ordered her capture. But before his men could act, the ground beneath the shrine split open, and the same forbidden grove began to stir with unseen energy. Nwakaego and Ifeyi returned to the grove carrying the sacred relic, the anklet, symbol of innocence. There, they performed a ritual of restoration, offering not blood, but truth. The wind roared, clouds gathered, and for a heartbeat, the entire world seemed to hold its breath. Then came a drop, one single drop of rain, and another, and another. The people wept as rain drenched their faces. The land drank deeply. Odunmola, in panic, fled into the shrine to beg the gods for forgiveness, but lightning struck, consuming it in fire. His ashes scattered in the downpour, a final offering to the truth he denied. The drought ended that day, but Nwakaego's journey did not. She became the keeper of the rain, chosen to guard the covenant between the living and the divine. Together with Ifeyi, she rebuilt the temple, not of fear, but of remembrance. Her mother's name was restored, her honor sung in new festivals. Yet, even in peace, Nwakaego carried a secret. The rain had whispered one last message to her as it fell. Truth must always be told, or silence will return. Years later, an old woman sat by her hut. Children gathered at her feet. The air smelled of wet earth and palm wine. Her voice trembled, not from age, but from memory. She said, "When the rain refused to fall, it was not the gods who turned away. It was us." She paused, smiled, and raised her eyes to the cloudy sky. Now, the rain never truly leaves because the truth no longer hides. And as she spoke, the fire flickered, an ember glowing against the echoes of time.